few theories that are out there. The first one that I want to look at is that the Nephilim, have you heard of the Nephilim? Of biblical lore are responsible for this rhesus negative blood group. It says in the book of Enoch, the Nephilim, also known as the Watchers, descend from the heavens and mate with humans, creating a human-angel hybrid. I think this theory has some legs, I have to be honest. It says that this group of angels and their offspring were wiped out largely in the great biblical deluge. I assume that's Noah that's being referred to, though some were said to have survived, leaving the rhesus negative blood distinction. I'm going to particularly talk about this theory because I feel as though, as I say, there's something in that. But there's also, I'm just going to read this article here. It says, another theory is that the Anunnaki, the extraterrestrial race that helped establish ancient Mesopotamia, engineered or crossbred with humans, and that some part of this process created the rhesus negative blood type. So to be honest, whichever one you go for, it's basically saying it is a crossbreed type energy. It's alleged that people with rhesus negative blood have distinct physical features, paired with a desire for psychic phenomena, maybe higher instance of alien abductions. That's interesting. Beam me up, Scotty. No, thank you very much. I do not wish to go. But it also says here, higher than average IQ, lower body temperature, higher blood pressure, red or reddish hair, extra vertebrae, elevated intuition, sensitive vision, and sensitivity to sunlight. So that's just one theory. I want to pull a couple of tarot cards. This deck, the After Tarot, feels as though it has something to say. So I'm just going to shuffle and I'm going to pull 3 cards and I'm just going to ask about rhesus negative blood, just to get us going in terms of a discussion. So rhesus negative blood. Rhesus negative blood. We have the Fool. We have the 5 of Cups. I know where this is going. And we have, interesting. Thank you. I love the tarot. You see, you can use the tarot for so many things. You think, yeah, it's not going to answer that question. And it does. My goodness. Right, what have we got? We've got the Fool, the 5 of Cups, the 2 of Cups, the 6 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, and the High Priestess. I actually have got 6 cards. I'll put them up in a minute, but I need to tell you what it means as well, and I need to see them. The Fool. No, let's not start with the Fool. Let's start with the 5 of Cups. We have a drowning human being in a river. We have another figure that is desolate, that feels as though everything is lost. We have the Fool that is starting a completely new journey. You see, I don't know my dates of the Bible. When was Noah's flood? Was there a flood before Noah? Because I'm feeling, what I'm tapping into here is there was a period in our human history where humanity was on the brink of wipeout, signified by the drowning human being. This figure just feeling as though all is lost. Even though there were still 2 cups standing, 3 were shattered, and interestingly, on this deck, can you see that 3 of the cups that are down on the ground have got blood coming out of them? Well, that's my interpretation. Spilt blood, lost blood. Dark clouds overhead. Interestingly, also, there's a church in the background, as though the traditional belief system that was operating at that time could not answer the questions or could not come up with the solutions with regards to how do we solve this crisis in that humanity is on the brink of wiping itself out. But then we have the Fool and the Two of Wands. Something came in. What came in was the rhesus negative bloodline, which was offering a completely fresh new start, a completely fresh new vision, was able to see a bright horizon. And this bloodline, these souls flooded into the planet. Interesting, I said flooded into the planet, but I'm feeling just came into the planet with great success. They were met with jubilation. I don't mean by that there was dancing in the streets or that people even consciously understood that that is what had happened. But people suddenly, the dark clouds, the gloom, the we are doomed type energy lifted because there was a new energy in town. The new energy that arrived in the period that I'm channeling was the rhesus negative bloodline that literally dropped in, that flew in, that flooded in to help the human species survive. It was done in secret. It was done in secret. The High Priestess. We also have the Four of Wands. There was a higher power, a higher purpose. These are cards of celebration from a place of just, oh my God. I don't know what period of time I'm tuning into here, but it was bleak. It was bleak. It was like we cannot survive. Look at this, because this card, the Two of Wands, it's the couple, it's conception, it's the world. One of these two holding the rhesus negative energy. Now, this is where I don't want to get too much into the whole medical science of it. Otherwise, I'm going to stop the flow of my channeling. Because I don't know, well, put it in terms of me and my children, I am rhesus negative. My husband is A positive. I don't know what my children are. I don't know whether I've passed on my blood to them or not. I don't know how it works, but I do know that in the rhesus negative gene gets passed on somehow, okay? So in some unions, in some conceptions, that rhesus negative new energy flowed out to the earth and it was successfully planted. It was successfully seeded by the High Priestess. The question is, who is the High Priestess and who seeded it? I don't know if the tarot is going to answer that, but we'll turn to Ashtar in a moment and Metatron, but let's just see. One final card. Who seeded it? What can I have a clarification for the High Priestess? Oh, that's so beautiful. That's less beautiful. But anyway, let's just stay with this one. What seeded it? Love seeded it. And can you see what's above love? The Holy Spirit, the dove. The Holy Spirit seeded it. However this came in, whenever it arrived, and I'm being told the rhesus negative blood was on this planet before they discovered it, way before they discovered it. Okay, so it's been here much longer than they think it has. But it came from love. It came from love. It came from a loving source. It probably came from source itself. We've got the Holy Spirit. We've got the dove of peace, the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail also leads me to believe that many people carrying this rhesus negative blood, have lifetimes associated with the Holy Grail. Those that have got more of a pronounced intergalactic stroke alien energy. So I'm actually wanting to say it's both. And what I'm being shown is this flow, this movement of souls that came down from above to earth. It's as though hierarchy isn't really correct in the higher realms, because there is no hierarchy. In fact, what Spirit is showing me are more circles within circles within circles. So whichever way makes sense of what I'm about to say, just visualize that. But in terms of a hierarchical imagery that is going to help you, it's as though the souls flowed down, and they flowed down through all of the different realms, picking up volunteers, as it were, from each realm. So some were galactic and alien in nature, starseed in nature, and others came in via the angelic realm. So it's both. It's both angelic, for want of a better word, DNA, and it's also alien stroke intergalactic DNA. So within the RH negative community, as it were, there are crossbreeds, for want of a better word, that carry both angelic or starseed stroke intergalactic, or a mixture of both mixed in with human. Okay, so in terms of those original souls that came in, so that's what I'm getting for that. Shape-shifting is one thing I heard. Right, let me go into this shape-shifting. So I feel as though there is like a shape-shifting energy with RH negative blood people. What I mean by that, and remember, shapeshifters there's a big misunderstanding with regard to shapeshifters. When you say shapeshifters, people immediately seem to, in some parts of the community, think that's always a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. I actually remember a lifetime where it was almost like pre-form, certainly pre a physical body, just being formless basically, and being able to morph and shift into different patterns is what I want to say, rather than bodies, patterns. Imagine yourself formless and being able to just become the flower of life, just become any of the symbols out there, really. But I'm being shown the flower of life in particular. Of course, the conception and the way that the eggs subdivide. There is sacred geometry right from the word go, but this is before conception as well. Imagine, I'm just seeing myself now, but also probably you, floating around as matter, as energy that is able just to take any shape it wants to, but equally can be any pattern that it wishes to be, that can be any note that it wishes to be, that can be any sound, that can be any flavor, that can be any, it's just beautiful what I'm tapping into here. We are so much more than we realize we are, so much more than we realize we are. But anyway, back to shape-shifting. So yeah, there's a shape-shifting energy, but equally, this can manifest, not necessarily in terms of me suddenly now turning into a dragon or, whatever else. That's probably not going to happen. Okay, it needs to be a certain frequency for that to happen. And indeed, would it even be permissible? Would it even be allowed? Would it even be... it feels as though those of us that came in with this bloodline, it's as though there are rules that we're given when we come here, that you can't do that. You can't show that. You can't do that. You're going to freak people out if you do that. Just stay in your body. And often it's very hard to stay in the body. I suspect many channelers, actually, many people that are into this type of work probably have the rhesus negative blood. But it's very hard to stay in the body. But that actually is one of the lessons that we came to learn, to be in the body, because it's very easy otherwise just to be this. I could be this. Very high incidence of astral traveling as well, to an exhausting level. I know this myself, just, having to tell my all aspects of myself, I do not wish to travel tonight out of body. I do not wish to have that experience. I know I'm here to help people, but please, I need my own energy tonight. It's that type of thing. But no, so shape-shifting, isn't really appropriate, as I say, in modern society. But in certain situations, it is allowed. And I guess that is in terms of ceremonial work. And this is all working for the light, of course, healing work, that type of thing. But it can manifest in a more 3D mundane way, but equally a good way, in that, think about shape-shifting. It's about change, basically. Shape-shifting is about change. It's about metamorphosis from one state of being to another. So people with rhesus negative blood seek out change more than other types. They're not the type of people that can just stay in a job, do the 9 to 5 for 60 years and get your carriage clock, as I always say at the end of it. Shoot me now if ever. I could never do that. And I'm feeling that's part of this type of person as well. So change as a necessity. It doesn't mean that you find change that easy, but it's like change will always happen in your life. And I'm talking about big changes. So it can be moving geographically to different areas of the world. It can be, when I say everybody changes jobs, but excuse me, I'm talking about changing profession. It's like, it's not just changing job, it's changing profession, it's changing identity. It's like, well, I always knew you as this, but my God, you do that now? It's that type of thing. The origins of rhesus negative blood. So we know it came from love. We know it came from source. We know it came from God. We know it came, he's saying it came from a specific request for help. It's like an SOS call that went out from this earth. He says, see it like this, actually. He's showing me, and we're going way back in time, way back in time, centuries and centuries and centuries ago. SOS, Earth is in trouble, people are in trouble. The lifeblood of humanity is in trouble. SOS goes out. It's as though the biggest blood transfusion comes in, which is us carrying this blood group. Okay. I'm seeing it's like one of those great big plastic, what looks like this. I've got a picture of it somewhere. One of these. That's what I'm seeing. It's like a great big plastic vial of blood, as it were, that just, and I'm now being shown the earth, and it's like the earth gets covered with this blood. Nothing about this is dark. Nothing about this is demonic. Nothing about this is negative. Ashtar's saying blood is life in the same way that water is life. If you have no water running through your body, you are dead. If you have no blood running through your veins, you are dead. Okay, so seeing the earth covered in blood like this is actually life force energy. I'm now being shown, it's a bit gross this, but it's like, where's my thing of the earth? I don't know what I've done with it, but